Really, Bell had a chance except for this. This area right here. Pit stop 1, 19 seconds, killed the 20 car.
This stop here cost him probably 6 seconds on the racetrack. More importantly, 5 positions got by him.
Before we get into what went wrong, let's talk about how it's supposed to work. The fuel can.
I'm going to blow that out and just give you a frontal view of it. It's a big circle. There's a big outer circle, and then there's an inner circle. And what happens is the fuel runs through the inside of this. The air comes back through this outside.
Okay.
So they're sealed up. Fuel goes through the center. Air comes around the outside. That's what makes this can dump.
All right, so if you clear that out, fuel in the Sunoco, pretty easy to understand, down into the trunk.
And then air is coming around the outside of this, comes out, up through this clear tube, and back into the top of the can. Makes it a very efficient way for the fuel to flow through, air to replace it.
But here's where I want to focus on. Let's talk about that exchange. Leaves the car. We're going to put our clock in. We're looking for 2.5 seconds. A little fumble, hits the side of the dry brake, finally gets plugged in, and you see it right here, right? 4.1. So that right there is 4 seconds where no fuel is being put in the car. We expect it to be 2.5, so that is already a net 1.5 second loss.
Yeah, definitely a loss here. There was a loss in the first can. Just seemed like he was plugged in longer than what I would have expected. But really, this whole exchange, it's not just a fueler. It's behind the wall. It's everything. And you pointed out an issue that you saw here.
Yeah, so let's take a look. This is the second can that's going in, right? He's going to try to take a grab right here, just like he holds his first can. So if I play this forward, you're going to see this gas man come back, slow motion reach, and misses. I mean, misses with his right hand, completely misses the dump can. And what makes it so impressive is that I go forward, he's holding this with one hand. He finally gets the second hand. I'd have dropped the can. Nearly 100 pounds is going to the concrete, but what it does is gets his angle off. So as he goes forward, watch this plug in.
It's low, gets too much angle in it, and then by the time it gets to here, now we're at the point. Remember, I talked about those 2 circles, right? You've got the center circle that has fuel in it. You've got the outside that the air is coming in. We see that there's fuel coming out of this right now, which means the fuel is coming past that air area, and it's plugging up the air. It's actually making a challenge out of this.
I'm going to show the vent line specifically. Drag that down and show you what I'm looking at. I'm going to back up with the vent lines clean. All right, so right there's no fuel in the vent. Right. When the car is full, you see fuel come up the vent. That signifies the car is full. In this situation, we know it isn't full. He just plugged in the second can. So as we go forward,
as you're seeing fuel coming down, fuel's going up, and that's because fuel's now gotten in the vent. It's plugged it.
Remember, this was supposed to be air.
Yes.
Right? That was supposed to be clean and be air, but instead it has fuel in it.
And this to me is a 2-liter bottle of Coke that you just turned upside down and it's going blub, blub, blub. Where that can should dump 1.5 to 2 gallons a second, it's probably dumping less than a gallon a second now because it's got all that fuel in it.
I'm going to give them credit. They don't add a bigger mistake. They actually wait, make sure the car gets full, or it would have been huge. But in the end, 19 seconds. The caution comes out a few laps later for the end of the stage. You think that would have saved them, but the problem isn't the 5 seconds or 6 seconds that cost them. It's the positions on the racetrack.
5 positions on the racetrack.